Sonoma County's epic wine country is one of the hottest destinations in the world, especially for those of us here in Arizona, thanks to a daily flight from the valley directly into the Sonoma airport. Among the best and brightest microregions within Sonoma County is Windsor and Notre Vue Estate, which is a major reason why. Jeffrey Thomas shares the secret to their winery success, as well as a little of its history and how you can visit. And yes, we'll also find out what Notre Vue means. Take a look. Okay, first before we get started, Notre Vue. Am I saying it right? And what is Notre Vue?
Yeah, you phonetically you've got it pretty much correct. Notre Vue means our view in French. Notre means our, VUE means view. So the name came about because when the owners purchased the property, the view from the summit was so breathtaking that they couldn't think of a better name for the property than our view. So hence the name.
I like it. Okay, let's talk about your winery because it's an estate winery. Now, do you have grapes there too? Do you grow the grapes and, of course, the winery together?
Yeah, actually, traditionally, this property has sold grapes to a lot of local winemakers, both here and in Napa. When the owners purchased the property, they weren't sure whether they could conduct the wine business themselves, so they leased the winery to quite a couple of famous winemakers in this area. They did that for about 20 years, just selling the grapes. And then about 10 years ago, the wife of the owner, Renee Brownstein, decided that given that we'd been selling grapes to famous winemakers, we should start making our own wine. So we began making our own wine about 10 years ago.
Wow, that's really a smart lady that she was. I like that. So,
correct.
Let's talk about the property. Tell me a little bit about it.
It's a very unique property, 710 acres. The very center of the property is actually a 350-acre nature preserve. The owners dedicated that preserve to the Sonoma County Open Space Trust about 10 or 14 years ago. And that remains a nature preserve in perpetuity. So it makes us a very unique property, with the center of the property being the nature preserve surrounded by vineyards.
So, all right, let's talk about the type of grapes you have there, because is it white grapes or red grapes?
That's the big question. We actually grow 16 different varietals on the property. All of the well-known ones: Cabernet Sauvignon, Pinot Noir, Chardonnay. But we grow Petit Verdot, Petit Syrah, Cabernet Franc. We even grow some Italian varietals as well, Sangiovese and Dolcetto. So our winemaker has an excellent toolbox to make our wines from, because we straddle two AVAs, the famous Russian River Valley and Chalk Hill, and he has 16 varieties of grapes to make the wines from. So it's a very unique property.
I like that. Okay, a lot of people go up there, of course, for the tasting and the events and different things that are happening. So what do you guys got going on, especially in the tasting department?
Yeah, actually, we have two very unique tasting areas. One of them overlooks one of our Cabernet Sauvignon blocks, and the other one overlooks our upper lake. We irrigate the entire property from two ponds on our property, and one of the tasting areas is by the lake. So our wine club members and guests can actually taste wine lakeside, or taste in our regular tasting room at Block 23. And during the season, it depends on the time of year, but we have yoga sessions on Block 23 Terrace. We have 15 miles of hiking trails on the property, so guests can actually hike or bike the entire property. It's very unique in that way.
Oh, wow, it's very cool. Okay, Jeffrey, let's explain to people, because I think when they think of Sonoma County and flying in there, they think they're going to go right to a vineyard or somewhere right away, but they have to realize they have to venture out of the Sonoma area, but you're still in there, but that's to you guys.
Well, yeah, actually, in fact, the airport, the Santa Rosa Airport, is the one closest to Windsor and Healdsburg. That's north of the town of Sonoma. It's called the Sonoma Airport, but it's actually in Santa Rosa. And frankly, it's 10 minutes from here. So anyone who flies in from Arizona, and I think there are some direct flights from Arizona to Santa Rosa, they get off the plane and can rent a car or catch an Uber, and in 10 minutes they're tasting wines at our property.
I love it. Or I know the other one, I think it's like 90 minutes or something like that if you want to take a nice little drive from the airports. But it's just flying right in there.
Correct. Even San Francisco. I think from Arizona you fly directly to Santa Rosa, but you can also fly to San Francisco Airport, and that's an hour and 15 minutes from our property.
I like
Very
it.
accessible.
Very cool.
From Arizona.
I know we got to wrap up here, but I do want to ask you one quick question about your sustainability program that you guys are doing.
Yeah, the sustainability came about right around the same time we dedicated the open space. There's a program in Sonoma County that's administered by the county to achieve certified sustainable status. And that means that we've got to manage our energy, our use of fuel from year to year. It also means we use less and less chemicals on the property. So we farm organically. We're not certified organic, but we farm organically. And from a sustainable standpoint, since we dedicated the open space, we've needed less and less proprietary chemicals to manage the vineyard. So certified sustainability is a big deal in winemaking in Sonoma and Napa counties now.
I think that's awesome. Again, it is Notre Vue Winery there in the Windsor, California area. Jeffrey, let people know where they can find out more information about the winery and also about your wine club and everything that you guys have to offer when people visit.
Sure. Best resource, of course, is our website, notrevueestate.com, just like the sign says. There's lots of detail on the website. You can make a booking for a reservation, for an appointment to taste wines. And if I can put in a plug at this point in time, we are distributed nationally in some states, but not in Arizona. So if one of your viewers is a distributor for wines or knows a distributor for wines and want a very unique artisanally crafted set of wines. We have 16 different SKUs here. They should look us up and contact us through the website.
I like it. Well, if you want to send me any samples, I'm more than happy to have some and then pass the word along to distributors.
You've got it. Are you a red wine guy or a white wine guy?
White wine. I have to do white wine. I'll tell you when I come up to the winery why I can't do red wine. Long story, but white wine definitely.
I'll send you down a bunch of wines, and I'll address them to you. I'll address them to you, Brad, so that the crew don't grab them before you do.
I love it. Jeffrey, thank you for joining us.
Okay, no sweat. Cheers.
Cheers.